Good afternoon, everyone. Sulawesi Island, Indonesia, 7.7 earthquake. Tsunami rolls inland. I want you to look at that advertising signboard and look how high the water got. Is there any connection to the sun triggering some of these earthquakes? The eddy, grand solar minimum intensifying. So these are the types of anomalies you would be looking for. Uptick in quakes, strange behavior in the jet streams, all-time record coldest September ever in Germany and the Netherlands as well. Increasing sea ice, to name a few. And join me for mini Ice Age conversations, tri-weekly podcasts going into these very same subjects 3 times a week on how this grand solar minimum is going to affect your life. The link is in the description box below the video. Now, if you hadn't seen the news, the 7.7 earthquake off of Sulawesi, very shallow, 10 kilometers, about 6 miles in depth. First wave rollover. A lot of people started pulling out their cameras at that point because the wave hadn't breached that, I guess, first wall, but it took out an enormous amount of homes and buildings across the shoreline there. And as everybody was watching, this next wave came in. And I want you to take a look at the height of the advertising board. We know how tall those are. You can get a good gauge on how tall that is. I mean, when you walk into one of those buildings next to there, how tall do you think the doorway is? And this is how much water pummeled the area. I'm going to go through it a little slow here, but what I really wanted to do was put these side by side so you could see how much water came in, how high the wave was. This is the area here, Sulawesi Island. If you look down, you'll see East Java, and go over to the west there, and you'll come to Jakarta. And at the same time, west of Java Island, Krakatou erupting another 53 times since this last article was first put out. And the eruption of Krakatou, 1880s, remember, was heard thousands of miles away. And the tsunami generated from that event went around the planet 4 times. And you're telling me this is all waking up at the same exact time in the same exact place, and then we have the effects from the sun also exacerbating this? And then it makes you wonder also, what's the connection here with our weakening magnetosphere, our sun's entering this grand solar minimum, effects in our jet streams, and then even smaller events off of the sun now are having a larger effect on our planet. Here is the amplification timeline for the new eddy grand solar minimum that we are in and intensifying into. The cusp has begun. As we get into 2019-20, it's going to amplify several times more than it has so far over these last 12 months. Taking a look at the jet stream forecast, David Birch, going to widen that out for you. We're going to go out to 96 hours right over the UK and Europe, Ireland, Scotland, Wales, parts of Iceland. And you see where it says cold and frosty? But that's in the future, cold and frosty. Let's look back a couple days ago what happened in Germany. Coldest September morning since weather records began. Please realize those records go back to the 1700s. And now we're getting coldest September morning since their weather records began in Germany. And then you think, oh, well, the coldest September 23rd ever measured. And that same place debuilt that had record cold last year as well. So what is it with that part of Europe that's making it cool so fast? In France also, saw the crop damage there along with the cold temperatures. And here we are, Christian over at Ice Age Farmer, talking about Alberta record snowiest September since records began as well. And here we go, parts of the prairies, first day of fall. Oh, that's, well, at least they didn't say it's summer snow there. Just, they're waiting so they didn't have to say summer snow. But now we're into autumn and fall, so they can just call it early snows now. Somebody flipped a switch. Summer to instant winter. And more people continuing to report on parts of Alberta record their snowiest September ever. Weather Network even pegs the city snowiest on record for Edmonton. Other parts of Alberta as well. So it seemed to be quite the event. And then to put the cherry on the top, Arctic ice growing again. You see that teal line right in the center. I thought I need to widen that out because I cannot see it so well. So I went right back to the source here, Global Warming Policy Forum. Teal is where you're looking this year for where we are. They've told you it's gone to the lowest ever this year. That is a blatant lie. At least the 5th, 6th, we're going to get a participation trophy for going up in ice, I guess. But it looks like it's starting to track northward and gain when over the record here, it would have declined in ice. So I guess we've turned a corner. You would expect this in the intensification of the grand solar minimum. Thanks for watching. Hope you got something out of the video. And if you like this type of information in a blog format, steemit.com/adapt2030. And as always, on the go, tri-weekly podcast, mini Ice Age conversations going into depth of these same exact events and analysis in the new Eddie Grand Solar Minimum.